As we look to this new year with equal amounts anticipation and dread. Alright, fine, more dread than anticipation, but let's try and be hopeful. And that's kind of the point of this video, that there has been a lot of bad stuff last year, but also there were some bright spots that we could all do to remember. So here are my top 5 movies of 2025, and because, as we talked about, the bad is seemingly inescapable, also my worst film of the year at the end. So without further ado, let's get into it with number 5, Frankenstein. Personally, I find Guillermo del Toro a bit more hit and miss than most people, so I went into this movie quite trepidatious, but this blew me away on a technological level alone. This is a gorgeous movie, like the way it blends the casual brutality of the era with these beautiful clothes and buildings and sets is amazing. But beyond that, this movie is incredible in how it shouldn't work but does. There is a bunch of contradictions in this film that would destroy a lesser movie, but in this, they work. For instance, it attempts to be a very close thematic adaptation of the original story, even throwing in the Paradise Lost reference from the original book, but it completely changes whole swathes of the narrative. It tries to maintain the style of the original prose, but also uses that style of dialogue to bluntly discuss things that you would never find in the original text, like questioning the root of their money and discussing the horror of war. It nails the specific view of science and mysticism present in the Victorian era, but also has Wolverine's healing factor. And yet they all work together to tell this incredibly powerful story of rage and pain and self-loathing and the legacy that these emotions impart on the world. The one thing holding it back are the choices that keep it closer to the original book. Which, yes, is a classic, but parts of that book are like trudging through cement, and I think this film would be better off without them. But still a fantastic movie. I just still slightly prefer my number 4, Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man. A lot of people, myself included, have soured on Glass Onion. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a great movie, but the vast majority of its characters are so flat that there isn't as much to discuss or break down in comparison to the first film. This one is an incredible return to form. It's a gripping, solvable mystery that uses the genre's thirst for absolute truth, yet compassionate justice, to have an incredibly meaningful discussion about the nature of faith, and how some people try to use it as this source of strength, love, and determination to get through the day, and others use it to exploit and trap people in this endless cycle of hatred. And this discussion is carried by the incredible atmosphere, the non-diegetic lighting, the great cinematography, and the amazing performances of everyone involved. Also, the performances are its only problem. Not that anyone's bad, but more that certain great actors do not receive enough time to properly shine, and so it feels a little incomplete. But still, if I'm saying this film's only flaw is I want more of the movie, it has to have done something right. Onwards to number 3, The Coral. I love Roger Allam. I will watch anything he's in until the end of time, and that's why I watched this film, only to be surprised that the rest of the film is just as good as him. Again, like Frankenstein, this is a film that is bursting at the seams with contradictions. For those that don't know, it's a film about a choir in the English countryside during World War One, and it's just about them putting on a performance. And it's fascinating because it's bizarrely disconnected from its time frame, yet entrenched in it. It features a lot of ignorance and prejudice of the time, but it never manages to disassociate you from the tragedy of its characters. It manages to feel chaste and romantic and whimsical, whilst having very explicit and at times painfully honest discussions around sex. All of these contradictions enable it to portray both the best and the worst parts of people stuck in horrendous situations, and it does not understate the worst. This film has one of the most harrowing moments I've ever seen in a movie, where Fiennes is surrounded by these people's wanton bloodlust and celebration of death, and he just has to sit there and deal with it. And there's no resolution to that moment. The crowd doesn't come to their senses or terms with their bloodlust and wanton death for people who are not that different from them. No one apologizes. The scene's not made right. It's just, it feels real in a way that few things do. But as amazing as this film is, I still prefer my number 2, The Long Walk. Does anyone else think Philip Seymour Hoffman's son looks exactly like Charlie from Heartstopper? Like, it can't just be me, right? Right? Oh well, even if I have succumbed to my face blindness, that doesn't make this movie any less outstanding. It takes a very blunt idea, a walk or die competition, and uses it to explore the contradictions we accept on a daily basis. In particular, the way we discuss and view soldiers in comparison to how they are actually treated. The shots do an incredible job lingering on the horrific brutality of the violence without ever making it spectacular or allowing you to disconnect from the humanity that's about to be snuffed out. But the real heart of this movie are in its amazing performances, who maintain this atmosphere of camaraderie and kindness in spite of the oppressive horror that they are experiencing. And the script, with its powerful dialogue that is equal mix, brutally incisive, yet witty and charming, which prevents the blunt analogy from ever feeling preachy. Just an outstanding movie. But before I get to my number 1, I got a couple of honourable mentions. Superman, a good first superhero movie for the DCU, but I found it a bit too messy and with too many bad gunnisms for me to truly love it. K-pop Demon Hunters, an absolutely fantastic movie, and if Celine had just had a little bit more screen time to develop her relationship with the protagonists, I would definitely have put it on here. Sinners. Oh, this was so close to making it onto the list, but as I said in my review, it was just that little bit too disorganized, and the horror elements don't entirely work with the story it's trying to tell, so it just didn't make it. Havoc. Okay, this one fucking hurts, man. This is an incredible movie. Just fantastic performances, outstanding action, the perfect mix of brutality and enjoyable. But I didn't have time to rewatch it for this list, so I can't quite rank it. It's probably my number 6, but again, I need to rewatch it. With that out of the way, number 1, Thunderbolts. I know, another superhero fan who will always pick the superhero film as the best of the year.
You're goddamn right.
But in all seriousness, I love this movie. It takes a bunch of forgotten characters nobody cares about and uses them to discuss depression and monotony and the endless spiral of up and downs that comprise your mental health, whilst also using these ideas to dissect the contradictory nature of the superhero genre. They can be these hollow power fantasies breeding this false superiority, or they can be stories of people struggling to do the right thing in the face of overwhelming odds. And it uses the common tropes of superhero films of the past 15 years to enhance these themes, like the sense of humour that has become pervasive in this genre is used in this movie to enhance these characters' attempts to hide and withdraw from the world. And as the film goes on and these characters start to connect more, that sense of humour falls away. It's just, this movie is so damn good. Every time I come back to it, I find something new to like. Like during the scene in the void, there is this unnatural pulsing lighting that reflects Bob's struggle with his constantly shifting emotions and feelings by going from dark to light and back again. It's just an outstanding movie. I know it helped a lot of people with their mental health. It certainly did me, particularly in helping me recover from the worst movie of the year. This basically came down to 2 options for me: War of the Worlds or the Minecraft movie. And choosing between them was like choosing between rancid apples or mangy oranges. Because War of the Worlds is truly awful in every aspect from the get-go. From the cinematography, to the sound design, to the acting, to the effects, to the horrible forced advertisement, to ham-fisted toxic messaging. But on the other hand, Minecraft is such a missed opportunity. Like, the director has done good work, the actors are well cast, there's a nugget of a good idea in this story, even if this is like the 5th isekai video game adaptation we've gotten. Stop doing this, it sucks, no one likes it, just stop. But anyway, back to the point, the effects truly capture the beauty of the Minecraft world. Like, this could have been the next Lego movie, and instead it's just this exceedingly bland mess of contrivance and unfunny jokes. It could almost come down to a matter of personal preference. Do you like your movies so absolutely awful they are hilarious, or with just enough competence that they are instead exceedingly bland? But I think for me, I can at least tell some people at some point cared about making the Minecraft movie. They put effort into the effects and the world, and some of the performances have some energy that works. And that effort should be appreciated. And to be fair, there probably was someone who tried to make War of the Worlds good, but it just got subsumed in the bloated mess of corporate greed that is the end product of that movie. Like, God, truly awful. But that's going to do it for me. What were some of your favourite films, or least favourite film of the year? What films did I fail to mention in their entirety? Comment down below. Also, check out my podcast, In Connection. We're going to hopefully be doing an episode on the new Superman movie and comparing it to Man of Steel soon. So please check that out when it comes out. Hope you all have a great year, everyone. Bye!